Hello and welcome to Reinfused. So, we did a poll on the channel a little while ago about the collection of MSX machines we've got. Now, we did a few videos back, where we went through all of the joysticks that we have. So, we asked basically, should we do the same thing with our MSX computers? And the result was overwhelmingly in favour of doing that. So, that's what this video is. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. Now, we use PCBWay quite a lot to, create PCBs. But did you know you don't have to stick with your bog standard green PCBs? You can have a vast array of different options, different colour board, different materials for the board if you want that extra special PCB made up, and different colours for silkscreen to make it look a little bit different. As well as a great service on PCBs, they also handle 3D printing, injection moulding and sheet metal work. Go to PCBWay for all of your product construction needs. And thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. Okay, we're basically going to try and do this in year order, not necessarily in the date released order, but just in the year, so you may get some that come out before others. Okay, so this is the Canon V-10. It's the first MSX computer that Canon released. It only has 16K of memory. It's a little bit yellower than it would normally be. We've got scrunchy, this rather loud cartridge slot here, and we also have another one inside there, which is protected by this cover. Yeah, it's a fairly mundane computer, but again, it is one of the early ones. But other than that, it's quite a nice machine. It's just rather nicely styled. It's a bit soft on the keyboard, but it's still plenty of travel in there. These giant giant play pause buttons, but they are the arrow keys. Yeah, other than that, it's a fairly simple. It's got some composite component there for video and audio. It's the only mono in. RF with channel switch, the cassette, and a printer port, and just on the other side, power supply, and on the front, which is a much more sensible place for it to be, 2 joystick ports. Yeah, nice simple machine. Came out in 1984. See, the very, very early days of MSX. And this is the Casio PV-7. Like the previous one, this is Casio's first foray into the MSX market. This is an even more bare bones machine. Just 8K of memory on this model. There was a model with 16K as well. Only 1 cartridge slot as well, which made it really hard because obviously a lot of the other machines made use of the second cartridge slot to increase the memory. So yeah, very, very bare bones, and not a great chiclet keyboard. Although this is quite nice, like a rocker for the for using with games. Not that you'll play many with 8K. Most of the stuff is on the side rather than the back. So on here we've got the cartridge, the component, and the TV. On the back we have the power jack and the power switch. You can probably see those. And on that side we have the joystick ports. So yeah, Casio PV-7, a really, really cut down machine, but again, early days. And this is the Toshiba HX-10. Certainly in the UK, this is almost certainly, I'd say, the most popular MSX machine that was out there. Definitely considered Toshiba's most popular one, sold the most. It ranges on how much memory it's got. This UK one has 64K, but some of them went down as far as 16K. Now this one only has 1 cartridge slot, but it does have on the back, now this was broken by the way and it's in a fairly bad state, it's on my repair pile. It does have an expansion bay there, so you can kind of add extra bits in there, including memory. Cassette recorder, RF and component. And on this side we have our joystick ports and printer port. And the big rocker switch on that side. Yeah, this one is in a bad shape, but we'll get it working at some point. Not a bad keyboard, a little soft again, not great travel, but it's there. These are not too bad, although the arrangement's interesting. Yeah. Here is the Victor HC-30. Yeah, these were Well, these were some of the first of the Victor machines, but in fact, these early Victor machines were just rebranded Yamaha models. But we are starting to see kind of more of the features that would make the MSX spec well known. So we have our 32K of base memory, and this model only has a single cartridge slot, but later ones had two. So yeah, on the back we're seeing our power switch, our cassette, printer, power input, the RF with its channel switcher, the component leads, and this is the kind of the first appearance really of an, well, on my machines, of an RGB cable as well. And other than that, it's fairly simple. On the front we have our joystick ports nicely hidden under a lip there, which I really like actually. This is a really nice keyboard. It's quite firm. It's got a lot of travel. Yeah, it's really good. Possibly the best one so far, certainly. These I'm not so sure about. They're a bit unwieldy to use, but hey, you've got joysticks for that, right? Okay, we've hit our first MSX2 computer, although we do have some MSX1 computers to go after this. So this is the Panasonic FS-A1. And it came, as you possibly see there, the lighting isn't great, apologise, 64K of memory. It's got two cartridge slots, one underneath this funky lid here and one on the back. And continue across here, we've got a printer port, the cassette port, the component leads, the RGB socket, and the RF with its channel switcher, and the weirdly shaped and powered power lead, the same lead that goes in a couple of Sony machines, and also the Neo Geo CD with some AC power bits in there as well, which is annoying. It also has a battery backup, so if you get one, make sure you check that. A power switch which is kind of hidden in there, so it's kind of flush, which is, you know, nice bit of design, I guess. And the joystick ports on the less favourable side rather than the front. Other than that, that's it. It's a nice looking machine, and a bit light keyboard, but it's not too bad again. These are a bit bulky again, but hey. Right, and here is what is possibly, if not just my favourite MSX1 machine, potentially my favourite MSX machine, full stop. So this is the Hitachi MB-H50, and you're probably thinking it looks a little bit weird like that, but that's because this keyboard is actually separate. So you can plug it in to the front, or you can have it out completely. And with it out completely, it basically makes this into a console, an MSX console. Everything you need to play games is here, so this is where the keyboard would normally plug in. There's the joystick ports. So yeah, that's literally, it's a console. This bit here is kind of cool as well. It lights up, and if you're doing things from the cassette, different bits light up, like tells you if it's loading and saving, and that's the level as well. So which is also useful when you're doing cassettes, because knowing the level that's coming in, it helps you to identify issues. Two cartridge slots, excellent. This came with 64K as standard. On the back we have a printer port, the cassette port, the components, and the RF with its channel selector, and on the side we just have the power button, so everything else is there at the front. These two little bits here are the pegs which fit these two legs on the keyboard, so it holds it in place. Also, you don't need to have it there, you can have it in front as well. Let's get that in place. If I move this back here, it can always sit there as well, to use as a proper computer. Just, yeah, it's a wonderful little machine. Next up is the Sanyo Wavy-23. Interesting shape, obviously. Although I guess that's an extra rest when you're using the cursor keys. This colour, I assumed it had gone a weird colour with age, but no, according to all the ones I've seen online, they are this colour. There's other different colours as well, but this is certainly one of them. So kind of a military green, I guess. This is also called the PHC-33 as well, and this is an MSX2 computer. Yes, we've got our two cartridge slots there, we've got a reset, various lights to tell us what's going on. On the back We've got our printer port, our RGB cable, our components, and again the RF and its channel switch. On this side we have our cassette port and our joystick ports, and our power switch. It's quite a large machine and quite unwieldy, but it's an interesting shape, I'll say. It's not my favourite shapes, but certainly interesting, and it's, you know, it's a rock solid MSX2 computer. Now, this one, when I first got it, wasn't working, but it turned out just to be a fuse. And my friend then, when I told him just to, you want to play on it, I told him to play on it, and he decided to plug this into a Euro socket and put 240 volts for it. And I thought it was dead, but again, it was just the fuse, and it's still working fine. So, a robust computer. And we're popping back to MSX1 with another Sanyo machine. This is the Sanyo PHC-33. The last one was the PHC-23. This is another 64K machine. It's got this built-in tape deck, which is lovely. All the controls there. I really do like that design. It's got a normal and high-speed setting as well, so you can kind of use a turbo high baud rate load, or you can just try it out. And we have 2 cartridge slots again, a spongy keyboard, but it's not too bad. On this side, we have the joystick port and reset button. On the back, we have a printer port, the power buttons, the component cables. This is the channel, but it's actually a 2-way switch instead of being a slidey switch, and the RF and the power and the fixed power cable. That's all there is to see on that one. It's nice. It's a nice machine. I like this one. The built-in tape deck is it's just an interesting one. Makes it really interesting. Well, we're back with Sanyo, and we're back in MSX2, although this time MSX2 Plus, a machine that barely fits in the frame. This is the Wavy 35, or the PHC-35J. Yeah, an MSX2 Plus computer, the 64K memory, 2 cartridge slots. Bit of a spongy keyboard again, but hey, it works. And this has got a couple more interesting things on the top. A pause button, which I don't know if it literally pauses or if it's a software handled thing. I've never used that, I don't think. This is an auto fire built into the machine, so it will just handle the auto fire, and this light here flashes faster depending on how high this is set. On this side, we have the joystick ports, the reset button, and the cassette port. Obviously something that will disappear in the next generation. There we are. On the back we have printer, RGB, the RF and the RF channel selector, and the component and the power button and the fixed power cord. It's a lovely looking machine. It's just very, very big and very, very unwieldy. But it has basically become my machine of choice because I can basically play most stuff on it. Right, so this is the last machine. And kind of not the ultimate MSX, probably the penultimate MSX. Because this is the Panasonic FS-A1ST. There's one model above this. That's the GT, which has got a few extra niceties, including more memory. This came with 256K, though it is upgradable. It also has a Mega VRAM, which is really interesting. There are 2 cartridge slots. We've got this one underneath the cover and one at the back as well. And whilst this is relatively not common, but certainly on a few machines, this is the only one I've got that's got a floppy drive built in. And on the back we have most of our usual things, though that's an S-Video, I believe, and that's RGB, our component, RF and channel switcher, our printer, second cartridge slot, and on this side we have our power button. Power button. And kind of on this little panel here, which is the chin, I guess you'd call it. We've got our we got this, which basically lets it boot in. There's a kind of an inbuilt menu with lots of features and stuff, and this turns it on and off, so it'll either boot into that or it'll boot straight to the basic. This is our auto fire, like the other one, with the light that flashes in time, and we've got our reset in there, and these various things light up depending on what's going on. So yeah, it's a nice machine. Not terrible keyboard, again slightly spongy still, but it's still quite nice. It's got a nice lot of travel. Anyway, that's it. That's all of the machines. Yeah, MSX is a wonderful array. I mean, my collection is varied, but it doesn't even scratch the surface. You can see, if you go online, you'll see people that have got rooms just full of different MSX machines with no duplicates, and when you take into account the Japanese variety, the Japanese alone, actually, there's a huge variety, but then all the ones that did come out in places like the Netherlands and stuff, there's just such a variety. It's a machine you could collect on its own and not get bored. But I think I'm done now. I think 10 is plenty, and I'm going to be selling a few of those as well. Anyway, let's get to a summary. Okay, so that's 10 MSX machines that we own, a kind of a mixture of manufacturers and all the genres, all the generations of the MSX machines. We also included the kind of the timeline that we've got up on our website at the moment, which is obviously free for anyone to use if they want to. I mean, yeah, if there's any in particular you like the look of and you want to see a video about that we haven't done a video before, let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know in the comments below if you even like this video, and if not, why not? You help us make our channel better. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please hit like. If you really like the video, please hit subscribe. If you didn't like the video or you have something else to say, like I've just kind of done already, but anyway, leave it in the comments below. Oh, don't forget to hit the bell icon to be told when any new videos come up, possibly ones in relation to the comments below. See you next time.
The present is horrible, the future looks bleak. Remember our childhood to get us through the week. We're getting re-enthused, back to the past and the things we used. We all know that our pasts were great, escaping the things that today we hate. Getting re-enthused, getting re-enthused, getting re-enthused.